Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Bowden. I'm Commissioner of the Department of Revenue Services, and I'm here with Governor Ned Lamont, and we are so excited because people today are going to go to their mailbox, and they're going to open that mailbox, and they're going to find a check from the state of Connecticut for the child tax rebate. It's a great program that we've been able to put money into families of our state so they can go out and take advantage of our sales tax-free week that's going on right now. They can help buy clothes for school or prepare their children for school, and it's something that this governor has spent a number of months working on to make sure that it happens. I want to congratulate the Department of DRS. John Biello's here, our deputy, worked so hard to make sure that these checks went out this week. And of course, I want to thank our great governor who had the vision and the courage to be able to put money into working families' hands so that they're ready for the school year. So we're excited and we're pumped up, and we encourage you to run out to that mailbox and check it out. And with that, I'm going to introduce my friend and our leader of the state, Governor Ned Lamont. Governor?
Good line. I'll go to the mailbox and check it out. I like that. Hey, congratulations to you and John and the DRS team. We've got almost, what, 200,000 checks going out. Here's one made out to John Doe. If your name was John Doe, you'd be doing pretty well. State budget recently enacted by the governor and the state legislature includes several measures to provide financial relief for working and middle-income families. Middle-income families is up to $200,000, right? $250 per child, $750 for kids up to age of 18. And this is our effort to continue to be the most family-friendly state in the country. By that I mean not only providing you the resources you need to help your kid get back to school. We have the sales tax holiday that goes through Saturday. So hopefully that will allow you to get these resources, do what you need to get your kid back to school. You know, yesterday I was in East Hartford for the opening day of school there. Kids were so excited, parents were so excited. What that means, they told me something interesting. They said the kids are coming back today compared to say 10, 15 years ago, better prepared than they were before, in part because of affordable daycare and childcare and pre-K and the advantages they have. But this child tax rebate, we didn't want to wait for something that was in your tax return. You had to wait till next April or something like that. This is money that you're going to get today, tomorrow, the next day, depending on how fast the mails work. But I think it makes a difference for families, makes life a little more affordable, helps those kids get back to school the very best they can. And on a personal note, I'm very pleased to see that the price of gasoline dropped below $4 for the first time since Putin invaded Ukraine. And this is Ukrainian Independence Day, and it's also the 6-month anniversary since Putin invaded. So I think the good news is life is getting a little more affordable for a lot of folks here, in particular, you know, parents who have kids under the age of 18. I hope you took advantage of this and to take advantage of this and the sales tax holiday through Saturday. Thanks, everybody.
Now, do you have any kind of breakdowns where you could give us, you know, how many families receive 250, how many receive 500, how many receive 750?
Yeah, we don't have it on, with us right now, but we can get that for you if you want to. Just contact the office.
Yeah.
Make sure they have it.
And so what is the, I know you guys announced numbers after that weekend. Have they changed it? How many households, how many taxpayers, how many households, how many dependents?
Well, 198,000 checks have gone out. We have about roughly 20,000 applications that we're still reviewing. Some might be missing some information. They didn't answer a question there. And we had a number of duplicates. Some people entered 2 or 3 applications, so we had to pull those out as well. So I think when it's all done, we'll end up at around 200 to 210,000 actual checks going out in the mail. That'll impact well over 300,000 children in our state, and again, provide them the resources they need to get started their school year off to a great start.
Commissioner, is it 18 and under or under 18?
It's 18 and under.
And I'm sorry, I haven't written about it too often, or it's been a while. What's the accumulated, the total number monetarily going out?
Right now, this week we're sending out $78 million
So
in checks.
It's going to be a little bit more than that then?
Yeah, it'll be more, but the legislature budget, I think, around 150 for this. So we certainly have more room to grow the program if that's what the governor and the legislature want to do.
Speaking of which, I know we've talked to you about this in the past, but what is the future? What do you see as the future of this sort of tax break for families in Connecticut? It's obviously one time in nature. There was some talk originally of making it a child tax credit, and then this went on the rebate. So where do we stand? Last week asked you this question.
I think same answer as last time, Paul, which is I don't like to make promises I can't keep. Right now, we were able to afford this and make life a little more affordable for an awful lot of families, a couple 100,000 families. The promises for next year and the years thereafter, let's take a good hard look at where we are in the budget in terms of our priorities. But I like the child tax rebate. I like affordable daycare. I like the fact that we kept our schools open. I like the things that we make this a place where young families want to be. And it's sort of interesting, not only do we have 50, 60,000 young families move to the state of Connecticut, 2021. We also have a little bit of a baby boom going on in Connecticut. I don't know if there's a cause and effect here, but Connecticut was one of the fastest. You any help on that front? One of the fastest growing states in the country when it comes to babies being born. For that, I'm very thankful.
And you mentioned gas taxes, gas prices going down. When I checked with DRS last week or the week before, it was about $70 million had been saved. Do we have any updated figure on that?
Nothing. We don't have anything updated for you, Paul. What we gave you last week is still the data we have.
Again, we've talked in the past about possibly extending this gas tax holiday. You said we'll see where things stand back at the time of December, January. What do you think now? Do you see this trend in falling gas prices continuing? What do you have you any concerns about this? The prices.
Gas prices are tough to predict. Home heating oil, I think, is going to be tough this winter. But what I've got to do is, Mark Boughton is our infrastructure czar. We've got hundreds of millions more in additional transportation funding, hundreds of millions more in environmental. Some of that requires a 20% copay. Some of it requires more than that. So we got to figure out what we need, in this case, in the transportation fund going forward. I got the highway user fee coming in place in January 1st, so there may be an opportunity to keep the gas tax reduction a little less than it was previously. Time will tell. I hope so.
And you brought up the infrastructure money. Where do we stand in terms of, I know Commissioner Giuletti in the past has raised concerns about staffing up, having enough engineers, planners, those types of professionals in order to be able to access this federal money. So I know there are a lot of retirements. I'm just wondering, where do we stand now?
So we've been doing I think a bang-up job at recruitment and bringing people in just around the state, but also from out of state to work for organizations like DOT and DEEP and DPH. I can't give you a direct number. I can tell you that we're still looking for about 200 employees over at DOT, but we are able to execute the program right now and get this money deployed in the current state. It's just in the future, as our money continues to grow each year, we want to be able to meet that demand. Retirements did hurt. There's a lot of institutional memory, knowledge that walked out the door, but we do have a lot of young people coming in that are excited and innovative and creative, and they want to get to work. So our recruitment's been going a lot better than I thought it would.
So that money's flowing now. We're getting some of the infrastructure investment jobs out.
Oh, sure. Any place you see orange cones around this state, that's being funded by IIJA. What we did is we took programs and projects that we're going to get done in 23, 24, and 25, and the governor said, let's move those up, let's clean the decks and get those programs done, and then over the next couple of years, you'll see all new projects begin, things that haven't even been conceived of yet. So there's a lot of work going on around the state. I drive all over Connecticut as part of this role, and there are cones and traffic flagmen and workers out there all over the place.
And how's any word on how the sales tax-free week is going?
Generally, it's always been a successful week. Ranges about $3 to $5 million each week that we forego in sales tax revenue. Remember, we had one in April, and that was very successful as well. So again, these are decisions later on that the governor and the legislature will talk about. Do we have the resources to continue to? Do we don't? Do we widen it? Do we add sporting goods, for example, in the fall? Not sure. These are all questions that they'll look at next legislative session. But I do just want to say that this governor has taken a measured approach to cutting taxes, which is critical because the international situation and the national situation is very unsettled. We don't want to go back and ask for a greater contribution from our residents. We want to keep cutting taxes, but you got to let him execute his plan, and he's been doing a great job at that. $600 million this year is being cut out of our taxes, and I think that's something to be very proud of.
Governor, the Republican candidate for governor down in the state pier is talking right now about a corruption tax. The state pier, Semaphore, West Haven. He's saying it's costing more than any other tax. You want to respond to that political attack?
He's a CFO who likes to make up numbers. There's no truth to that. He's down on state pier. I think state pier is one of the most important investments this state has made in many years. And it's not just coming from me. People are voting with their feet. There are more new housing, for example, being built in New London right now that's been built over the last decade combined. I think you're going to see New London, which was once one of the most robust ports in the country, come back to its former glory. And state pier is a big part of that. So if he's negative on state pier, I'm not.
Are you confident the investigation will not turn up any corruption?
I'm confident of the fact that as soon as I was elected to office, we got in place a new chairman, we got in place a new executive director. I want to make sure that people have absolute confidence in the investments we're making on behalf of the taxpayers of Connecticut, making on behalf alongside the private utilities who are putting up tens of millions of dollars as well. So we've erred on the side of transparency, Ken, doing everything we can to make sure if there are any questions, we answer them.
At that bond commission, they promised that was going to be the last $20 million, right?
That last bond commission one was because there were delays, there were threatened lawsuits, we had to reorient the pier because of the ferries, and that slowed things down. Inflation added to costs as well, Ken, but that $20 million was so we could get additional people there to keep the state pier on time.
I noticed last night that you did a little Twitter trolling of Stefanowski. You think it's kind of tawdry that he couldn't buy the love of the independent party, so he's threatening lawsuits now? Didn't get enough, didn't get any majority to get that line.
I kind of like to stay off of that stuff. Look, there's an election, and the independent party voted. They wanted to have their own independent line, and Bob competed, they competed. Independent party elected to go a different way. Sounds a little like Trump. Oh, I deny the election, I'm going to bring a lawsuit. We don't need that.
Yeah, but there seems to be there might be some, issue there. I mean, I read through the independent party rules. I was not at the convention. Certainly, under Robert's Rules of Order, it does appear that a presiding officer could vote in any ballot, vote by ballot, and also vote to break a tie. But there might be some issue with some other aspects of how that caucus was conducted. If that's the case, isn't Mr. Stefanowski within his legal rights to pursue what?
Yeah, I don't know the terms of engagement. I just see sore losers more inclined to go to the courts where they don't like the outcome more and more.
Do you believe the ship has been righted at the Connecticut Port Authority? I mean, there's certainly problems there.
Look, I think the day that David Corrs came in and took over, which was 3 years ago, something like that, we got in place the plan. I think he's delivered on that plan. He's done extraordinary work. We've got a new executive director in there. You've got a public-private partnership there. You got folks from the private sector on that board. There's always things you got to keep a close eye on. I think David's doing an extraordinary job. Going.
Quick question, Governor. Why is Eversource out of the pier project?
I think that the value of those offshore leases got really rich very quickly. And so they decided to take advantage of that, sell their interest in the offshore leases, but it doesn't interrupt the project at all. Their other utility partner is strong. They've got the ability to complete the job, and they've assured us they're going to complete the job on time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Governor.
Thanks, Governor. Thanks, Commissioner.
Boy, you can grab that check and change your name to Doe.
I'm not washing any checks, Governor. I'm not washing any checks.
Denying